Hello, everyone. I am Roswell Lawrie. I am the creator and director of one of the world's coolest dance Facebook. It's called Cool Folks Who Love to Bachata and More. I am honored. We just entered our third season, and my goodness, I can't believe it. 3 years doing this, we are still going strong, guys. We are still going strong. Um, I just want to appreciate everything that everyone has done, your postings and your videos, the events that I've been coming to. I'm really proud of each and every one of you. You guys are doing a fabulous job. Keep it up. Um, Today we're going to have Bernie Bachatera. She's going to join us. And I'm so honored that she's going to be here. She's going live with me from Florida. Bernie is super, super, super gorgeous, and she knows that because I told her that. So I am so sorry at first saying it again, but she is. You guys, when you guys men, married or not, when you guys see her in a few minutes, you're gonna be like, "Wow, look what I missed out on." Anyway, Bernie's going to join us. She's not only gorgeous, she's super smart, talented, charming, sweet, honest, and she knows sign language. So that's good. There's a lot more about her that we're going to find out. Okay, but before I bring her on, I want to say that this interview stuff is not mandatory. Okay. I am reaching out to almost each one of you, mostly organizers this summer, from all over the world to ask if each one of you would feel comfortable enough to go live with me to talk a little bit more about your events and to tell the world a little bit more about you. It doesn't have to be like personal stuff. It can just, be just like professional stuff. Maybe you want to tell someone about the work and the dedication and the main reason why your event is happening and why it's so it's so important and how it's going to help everyone and it's going to help the world. So maybe you can talk about that. Advice you want to give to children who might want to follow your footsteps. Your advice on suggestions on how the dance world can better support one another. It's very laid back, one on one. It's private. This is a private interview only for cool folks who love the Bachata members. So it's pretty much laid back. There's no pressure. We just talk, and it's voluntarily. So by no means are you required to go live with me. Still continue sharing your postings, do whatever you've been doing. But I'm giving everyone the opportunity this summer to better promote yourself and to better help the world know a little bit more about you and your events. Okay? So I just want to say thank you in advance to all of those uh, members that I'm going to meet in July. I'm looking forward to those interviews in July. So yeah. Speaking of interviews, the another beautiful member, Martha, from Detroit, is going to go live with me tomorrow. I know it's like half the members here are beautiful. Like I like, you know, cool folks who are super beautiful. I don't know, but anyway, Martha's going to be here tomorrow, and Bernie's going to join me in a couple seconds. And I just want to say, also, this summer I am in New York City. I'm back here in New York. As everyone knew, I was in uh, Georgia for almost a year, taking care of some family matters and also helping the dance industry grow. And I also came to support most of their events. And I'm very, very, very proud of Atlanta for doing what they're doing. They did a tremendous, 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 tremendous amount of work expanding the bachata salsa dance industry. And I'm very proud of them and I'm very happy of what I've seen. So Atlanta, you guys are doing a good job. Keep it up. Okay. Okay. So Bernie, there's so much about Bernie that I want to say. And so, I mean, she, you know what, let her do the interview. Let me stop talking there. I'm going to bring her on so she can tell you guys about stuff. Okay. But I got some questions to ask her. So I hope she's ready for my questions. Okay. Bernie,
Hi. Hi, everyone, and good evening. I'm happy to be here with you all.
Oh my God, I'm sweating here just when you do that. I'm like, oh, I got to put on another shirt. Hold on
That's
for a second.
Roswell. That's ASL, American Sign Language.
Oh my God, you are wonderful. As everyone knows, I lost my hearing. Well, most people know I lost my hearing about 2 years ago, due to the COVID pandemic. You know, some people, they lose their smell,
Sense.
their taste. They COVID decided to take my ears away. So that's
Oh,
why sometimes when I talk or I listen to people, I'm like, what? It does that. It's kind of hard to balance the sound sometimes. So, Bernie, I want to say thank you so much for doing that.
thank
So
you.
now when I ask you to marry me, there's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Don't be like, but Roswell, you're dumb. You got sign language. So we're married, whether you like it or not. We will be. Okay.
Okay.
Bernie, we never had an opportunity to meet yet, but I've heard of so much about you, and most of our friends, I know you and they know me, and we have that mutual connection. I mean, I've heard about you. I mean, you're talented. There's so much you've done in your life. You're a model. You were a flight attendant. Um, you performed at Islands Touch. I mean, there's and the list goes on and on and on. And you're still doing it, and you just amazingly are still gorgeous. I mean, the way you dress. I mean, I forgive me. I've grown up in the media most of my life, and I used to work in retail. I could not find a job with my master's degree, so I ended up selling shoes at a big retail store in New Jersey when I was young. So looking at women's feet 8 hours a day for 9 years. I can't help but noticing how a woman dresses and looks and stuff. So I got to be very careful, Bernie, because there's some people, they don't like because they're married and sometimes I compliment a man's wife on a dance floor, and then he's like, "Are you complimenting my woman again?" I'm like, "Yeah." So just for the record, it's just who I am. I'm just naturally weird. But Bernie, I love how you're dressed. You're very, presentable. I like the red. I was trying to, match you, with the red hair. But so please tell the world a little bit about you.
Well, you mentioned earlier when I was younger, in my childhood, I started dancing from ballet. My parents navigated me to the dance, starting with ballet, and then. Oh, by the way, my dad's a East Coast swing dancer, and so he wanted, I guess, they want all the kids to learn dance. And I started with ballet, then moved on to Hawaiian, Tahitian, and then in high school I was doing swing, and because that's where like my dad was teaching me the East Coast swing, which I didn't exactly. It's like the boogie. Do you remember? I don't know. It's an old, yeah, like the boogie, and I felt like it evolved into the swing. You know, like, and so, and then in college, well, in high school was jazz. I went through different phases of different dance styles or dance. What they call these types, because I was interested in knowing what it is, and then in high school it was more of jazz and the swing, and then college is when I was representing. I joined the Philippine. I'm from the Philippine Islands, so I joined the Philippine dance troupe where we used to represent, like under the Department of Tourism. We would do all the folk dances of the Philippines and we'd travel around. So that was where I was discovered in one of those and asked me, because I'm pretty tall for a Filipina, because the average Filipino is like 5'1", 5'2", but I'm 5'4", 5'5". I don't know. I haven't checked my height lately, but so I joined the dance troupe and representing the Philippines. That led me to people like asking me if I wanted to model, and I said, "What?" Like I didn't know anything. I was in college, And oh, my parents didn't want to because I'll lose my college years, but I had to navigate. I was so busy doing that. And on top of that, I was also organizing a dance group in the college, and with more Philippine folk dancing. And from that, after I graduated college, I got to be known with so many of these, like the modeling world, in the modeling world, that I just got into becoming a flight attendant just by the president of Philippine Airlines asking me if I wanted to fly. I mean, to be a flight attendant. I said, what do I need to do? And he gave me his business card and said, go ahead and go to the office and tell them that I told you to go. I was so flattered. I said, really? Because I know like you have to have a lot of screening for that, the height, the this, the that. And back then, well, I did that too. Like they have to check your height, your weight. Back then, I was very skinny, and there's a particular weight that you need to. So I drank so much water and ate a lot of bananas to reach the height because I was underweight at the time. So I passed, and yeah, I became a flight attendant of Philippine Airlines. At some point, I also my dad's Chinese and my mom's Spanish. So my dad he's very patriotic to the Chinese culture. So he wanted me to join the Cathay Pacific Airlines. So I did that a little bit, but then I was like, I wanted to do more of the like modeling that time. So I quit. I was switching back and forth from flying to modeling and at some point that's what then I ended after that with the American Embassy, and that led to my career promoting US businesses in Asia Pacific. And how did the dance come about? Well, I've been always dancing, so different dances. And so when I came to the US from the US Embassy, I was in the salsa room in Maryland. And, in the Philippines, salsa is the lambada, like the lambada. And so when I was in the salsa room, I heard the salsa music, but then when I watched them, oh, that's not the salsa I know. It's kind of different. It's kind of like salsa in the Philippines, kind of lambada merengue style. So I was so interested, and I learned that, and then I didn't even know bachata. But guess what? I've been listening to bachata music that I didn't even know that was bachata. My mom is Spanish, so she listens to all these music, and I was listening to a voice that was so nice, and hardly did I know it was Romeo Santos, my idol. So when I came to learn bachata, oh my God, I said, this is Romeo Santos. I said, I've been listening to him. I didn't even know because I didn't know how to dance bachata at that time. And then I was hanging out in the salsa room when I met, um, uh, actually, I didn't meet yet Tanya and Jorge. I met Rudy. He's called, I always forget their AKA. Rudy's El Tigre del Mambo. And he asked me, I was hanging out there, I was already dancing salsa bachata. And he asked me if I wanted to go to Bachatu. I said, what is Bachatu? I said, that's a festival they hold in Dominican, and then we're gonna perform. I said, we have a team? Is there a team? Or something like, yeah, go audition for the team. And so I got excited. Okay, I'm going to Dominican. And so that's how my bachata world opened up, and trained under Tanya and Jorge. And I loved it so much that until now, I call myself Bernie Bachatera.
Wow, amazing,
That's
amazing.
where I am right now.
I remember the salsa room. The salsa room is like well, I used to live in Arlington,
Oh,
Virginia,
yes, that's where it is.
and This was oh my god, when was it? Not that long ago. Maybe like five, maybe a year before COVID happened, or 2 years before COVID happened.
Okay, okay, yes.
I used to go there, and oh god, what's that guy's name? There was a guy that used to teach every Saturday night. He begins with an M. Marcos or Mark. I forgot his
Machuca,
name. Yeah, he was so
Orlando
cool.
Machuca,
Yeah, he used to teach like Saturday classes, like every Saturday.
Orlando Machuca.
Mauricio,
Oh, Mauricio,
yeah.
yeah.
So he was looking at me when he told me like, "You come up here. I wanna. You can be the example for today." Like me? I don't even speak Spanish. Me? Like you, the shy guy, come over here. So, and then back then, it was like it was sort of like the Palladium from back in the days, or Studio 54.
Mhm.
Lots of people. So and they were all good dancers. He's like, "Come, Ross, come. Don't be shy." So he's like, "Okay, everyone, look, follow." They brought a hot chick to dance with me, so that was a good thing. So she's like, the hot chick let I don't know her name, but I just remember she was a hot chick. So she let me. She's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm like, "Oh wow, I love this. I'm gonna come back." So I kept coming back and coming back, and then I decided to move to Austin, Texas. COVID happened. I moved
Oh,
to
okay.
Miami. Came back home. This was some family stuff. Moved to Atlanta. So, um, but uh, but that's great that you mentioned the salsa room, because that's where dreams are made. Most
Yes,
dreams are made for the Latin community who wants to like grow and prosper and connect. So
right.
I'm happy you mentioned that. And Rudy, he's also a member of Cool Folks Who Love to Bachata.
Oh, they have to be. Yeah,
Yeah, he's
your
like, and
that's the world.
I'm trying to get this guy to go live with me, but he's so super busy. He's
So
like,
busy. Yeah,
one day,
yeah,
Ross.
yeah. But
How is
in the salsa room, that's where we Jorge and Tanya came from Tampa, and then they moved to DC, and
oh
that's how it boomed there during those years. You know
oh
how they did a video that garnered like 40 million views when they did that Textrania,
mm-hmm,
the dance, and that's how they remained in DC because it was
mm-hmm,
gaining a lot of attraction. Before they came there, it wasn't as much. I
mm-hmm.
just yeah, I heard bachata, but I was familiar because I already was listening to Romeo Santos. So
Right, right, right.
even though the Alan touch wasn't yet there in
Mhm.
DC, I was already interested. But yeah, it gained so much in those years in the DMV area. So
Yeah. How is it
exciting.
like? How's it like? I mean, so did you hang out in Washington D.C. sometimes and hang? I loved hanging out in D.C. while I was in Arlington, and so
Well, the places there to dance is all over. It's mostly in Virginia and DC.
yeah.
And in Virginia, it was the salsa room, and there were other places. So it's like 10 times as much places to dance in Tampa than over there. There's like all over. DC, it's like Verizon Center. We used to hang out there. So yeah, it does a lot. Maryland too. I actually did the studio
Mhm,
for beginning classes in Maryland, which is
mhm.
closer to my home. And then after that, okay, let's go, let's go party at the salsa room, and that's where we debuted there, then we performed all over. Because remember, I love the concept of island touch
Yes.
because it's a global, it's not just local, it's global. And I loved it when, they would say, let's touch the world to dance, to the bachata. Let's touch the world. Like, that this art,
Yeah.
touch the world. And yeah, and it was very inspiring to me. And that's why I just love the team. And just traveling all over the world where, we have every season, we have a routine. So, for example, it's this 3 months. Well, you audition every time, and then because they do different choreography. So, some choreography you may not be able to do. So, Tanya kind of changes, and so and then after that, then you choose the congress when they're like for example, Orlando Salsa Congress, Atlanta, wherever. So those who want to perform, there's always a team. There's an Atlanta team, you can join them. So different people all over the world. The really like top notch, or what I say the biggest is DC Bachata Congress in coming up actually.
Yeah,
Lee.
coming up. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's our home base. We perform there, and then the advantage, like I just love it that we could choose wherever. It's because Island touches all over the world, like Canada, wherever you go, Turkey, Spain. You can choose wherever you want to go, and then you represent the bachata. You don't represent like um, we had like a short DC touch or Miami touch, but we all get together because our mission is to touch the world to dance. So
Yeah.
love
I,
it.
Yeah, I also wanted to ask someone, and maybe Rudy or Alamana or one of them. When I get a hold of them, personally, I'm going to ask them like the touch stuff. It's always hit me like, how did they come up with that name? It's like Island Touch. It feels like tropical. It feels like peaceful. It's not, it's like a humble, laid back, professional name. It's not like like Island Beat or like Fast Touch, or
Yeah.
like or Hot Touch. It's like it just blends. It seems like so. It's like I don't know. I like the name. It makes you want to reach out and dance with someone. It's
Yeah,
so.
I believe it's because the touch is kind of like I would relate it to something like passion,
Mhm.
and I think that's what they have like a strain through the years to have that passion, to develop that passion in a really it's amazing, because you're it's not only yourself, but it's very contagious because when you're happy dancing, you are like in good infection, not COVID good infecting the world,
I like
that
that. It's a good one. That's a good one.
right. So I left, and we had DC. I was with the ladies team and the co-ed team.
Uh-huh.
So I learned all the styling and lady styling. I loved it. You know how Tanya is. That's why if they see me, it's like, how do you do that? Well, it's normal because
Right.
I'm Tanya. Um, and the co-ed team. Yeah, it is, and not only that, like being in a team is just caring. It's not just performing; it's just a teamwork. You
Mhm.
know, when somebody needs help, like we are there to help them with the choreography. And this is where I learned how practice is so important. Like
Mhm.
me, when I perform, is like I always think of this. There's a saying that I read at one point, like practice like it's your last. That you practice like you're the last. So it means like I have to keep practicing until I'm there performing, right?
Right.
So
Right.
practice until like it's your last, and perform like you've already won. I mean, I'm not into competition, but like, you feel like a winner. Yes, you know what I'm saying. Yes,
Right.
you did
Right.
it. So yeah, because
Mm.
before performing, like I've experienced so much challenges. My partner, it's either different challenges, timing, he's late, I'm late, or somebody got sick, and then you have to switch partner, or oh my God, like, we're not we were supposed to be the seventh performer, then they moved us to third. Like, oh my, everybody's panicking. Oh, we're not yet ready. But with stage, with the performance, because I was modeling before, I can
Mm.
dress up in 2 minutes. Like,
Well, I'm happy
no, I
you
have
mentioned it.
everything ready. I have everything ready, and then,
Yeah.
you know,
I'm happy that you mentioned that. It makes me think, and it might make other people think. Flight attendant. And then model. I say supermodel, model,
that's
performer. So the transition among those
yeah,
three.
yeah,
Like for example, with me, as everyone knows, I've done like 102 jobs in my life. I've done from I've went from media to psychology, psychology to staffing, staffing to legal, legal to human services back to legal, blah 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 blah. When people look at my resume, they're like, Roswell, where are you right now? Where are you working? What job? So many transitions. Playing. different roles at different firms and different industries and traveling, and then love meeting all types of different people, different characters, etc., etc.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you have three main points of transitions, right? It's the
Yeah.
model, right? The flight attendant, and your present stage as a professional dancer. So when you, I can't say plan this, but when you transition next to the next, how did you feel? I mean, like, did you feel like, for me, I felt like it was a challenge for me. Like I felt, yeah, like, let me challenge myself. Let me see what else I know. I could do this. Yeah, and I did it. So how did you feel when you transitioned, from one to the next to the next? Did you feel like, yeah, or what the heck? Like, what did you feel during those transitions?
Well, my first job was being a flight attendant. So um, that I enjoyed it. I think it's more of like, everybody wants to be a flight attendant during that, my time.
Yeah.
And so from there, when I transitioned into, well, before that, I was modeling. So modeling, I was getting, it was a job, I was getting paid, but I wasn't really focused because I was in school. And then when I switched to being a flight attendant, whoa, this is the real job. Like, this is like, okay, I gotta be serious here. I can't be like just modeling was more of glamour and all that. When so it didn't give me a hard time because when you in the flight attendant, they teach you all the steps. The training to be a flight attendant is very similar to training to be a model. You have
Mhm.
it's very similar, so I kind of got ahead of my peers because I was already modeling. So flight attendant, you have to walk this, you have to dress up simply, all that. What I'm saying. So I enjoyed it, and then from flight attendant, another job was the um, in the U.S. Embassy. um, I think because of my personal, like, personal experiences, and you're always out there and also performing. So to me, I like performing. I like to express myself. I like to work with a team. I like to, like, just be happy. So uh, I think the only difference for me, when you're getting paid and it's not a hobby, then I get some pressure. And that's why with Island Touch, that was a hobby. That's why Tanya said, this is a hobby. You know, we weren't really, I mean, you get all these perks and all that as a performer, but it's not like when I was flying for the airline or I was working at the embassy. Okay, I have to be serious. So I'm saying, like, oh, what the heck? What is this? Like, with the dance, it's really a hobby for me. I try to avoid, like, this competition. I also did ballroom dancing, and when I went to West Coast Swing in Maryland, in Virginia, that was big on competition, and that Jack and Jill competition. West Coast, to me, I didn't like it. I would rather perform than compete because it sucks the energy, it sucks the happiness out of you. Like, I'm not after that because dancing is really my passion. So I'll lose my passion if I'm gonna get paid for it.
Well, I'm happy you said passion. Passion is a key word here, and I promised my mom I wasn't going to talk about this, but she's not. She's in her room. She can't hear me, but I'll talk about this. But
It's
anyway,
so funny.
um, passion is very great, and if you don't have passion in what you do, then it shows not only in your work,
You're
but
right.
it shows in you. I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say, like, dancing is not for everyone. You just
Yep.
can't. Like years ago, I thought that that's a one-way ticket to finding my future wife or whatever. Just go to a
As
bachata,
everybody.
yeah, bachata dance for, look
Mhm.
dressed up, look sexy, dance, and I'm going home with, no, and I realized it's not what I thought it was. It's not like the
Mhm.
movies and stuff. So, and
Mhm.
then I realized that with women, you have to treat them with respect. I mean, you always have to treat women with respect. Men know that, but
Right.
especially,
Mhm.
the Latin
The
world,
Latin.
especially
Yep.
on the dance floor, bachata, salsa dancing. It's all about
Mhm.
respect. I just want to say I learned, the dance, bachata, salsa, but more so bachata. It's really like
Right.
a dance of respect. Dance of
Yes.
respect that the guy is showing the woman.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
not like you go to a bar, you pick up a woman, like, okay, go home, 500 kids, we get divorced 10 days later, whatever. No, it's going there. You have the chance to show her that you're a gentleman, and you can follow directions, and all of that stuff. So
Yeah.
I learned to have more respect for women then than I ever did before.
That's
Right?
right. That's
Before
right.
it was
Yep.
like, whatever, just travel around the world, look beautiful, whatever. But there, so I'm happy when you say, you have to, really, pretty much your heart have to be there, right? And it goes both for a man
Yes.
and a woman, right?
Hmm.
Talk about connection, right? And I was telling my mom, about that. My advice would be like, it's good to have a limit in what you do. You can't like, like dance every day and not just 24 hours in a day. You can't spend like 23 hours dancing. Then like, because when you do that with anything in life, it becomes like work and it's not fun. It's not a hobby. It's like,
Yes.
oh God, I gotta go dancing again. Oh, I have to touch this woman again. Damn, what else is there on this planet? So, but you have to be passionate. When you're passionate about something, you know your limits, right?
Yep. Hmm.
Bernie, you know your limits. A man and a woman knows their limit. They're organized. They prioritize stuff. They have more respect for the guy and the girl when you're passionate about something. When you're not, problems begin. Okay.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
just want to, say that to everyone. Passion. If you, don't guys. I can't speak for the women, but for men, if you know you're gonna go out dancing and you have an expectation that what you see on TV or whatever, take it out of your mind because you're gonna make a lot of women like not dance with you ever again. So please just you have to be passionate and you have to want to go dancing. Okay, not because it's Friday night and Saturday night. There's nothing to do. You have when you go to those dance ups, you have to want to do it. Not I got to do it. There's nothing else to do on Friday night. Okay, so passion is very very important. And I'm happy, super happy that you emphasize what you just said about passion. I know I took it to the extreme based upon what you said, but in in essence, you have to have passion when you're dancing. That's
Yeah.
what I'm
Y-
saying.
You know, you know why Attack and Alemana are so like really successful and they grew so much, globally, not only locally, is because they've always taught us that it's not that techniques are important. They're so good at techniques. They'll teach us all the techniques and everything. But what really makes a great dancer is your passion. And you could see that when you're watching Jorge and Ataka. Why are they different? Because of the chemistry, the connection, and their passion. They're just, every time, I've been with them like, for many years. And with Rudy and Bianca, it's just like we're all happy to dance. I mean, when you're performing, there's a lot of practice and all that goes with that, right? But at the end of the day, you look forward to dancing because, as I can't forget, Tanya says, when some people complain, this is a hobby. She'll say, this is a hobby. I know, like, so you have to be like a hobby, be happy, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And they look so good together. It's like I don't know. I mean,
Right?
before I entered the dance world, I think I met them. I don't know if it was as a salsa club or whatever. I didn't know who they were. Like, a few years ago, I wasn't really listening to anything but American music. And I think I saw them one time, and I came up to them, and I just thought they were normal people, and they are normal people. But not realizing, like maybe a year later, when I really got into
Yeah.
the scene, and I heard their names, like, oh my God, those are the super cool, nice couple that I met a year
Yeah.
ago, and they're just naturally happy, and that happiness is shared among everyone. When you're around them, I'm just not saying this because this is social media, but when you are around them, whether separately or together, you feel their happiness. Like
Yes.
like you,
Yes.
island touch. I mean, I'm sure you can verify this. Like when you're around them, you feel their energy. You feel that
Yes,
you know, like there are
I can
some
attest to
dancers,
that.
some people and stuff. I mean, not to mention they like when I'm around them, I'm like, God, I feel like I'm afraid to say hello. I'm afraid. Let me step back. Let me not step forward. But with them, I felt, and I took pictures with them and stuff. A couple of years ago, at an event in Maryland, and I just you feel the love, and
Yeah, yeah,
that's what makes, you know, the dancers, cool.
yeah.
That makes them, and when that's all I'm saying. They were just you just feel that naturally. That's my
It's
point.
funny you say about the love because we have that. When something goes wrong in the rehearsals or something or anything, that's like a kind of password of Ataka, Alemana, Rudy, and show me some love, like give me some love, or show, oh, I'm not feeling love, like we have all that kind of like expressions, like so yeah, it brings back memories. So, but it's important, like to really be happy in what you're doing. Doesn't make sense if you're not, right? If you're just, we're not dancing with the stars, but even in ourselves, like we don't have to be there with us like Attack or Alemana.
Mhm.
We don't have to be there, but in our own social dancing, in our own communities, then we can be just as happy as we are, support each other, and that's how it grows, and that's how you can touch everybody to dance. That's my thing.
Support is something I want to talk about soon. I mean, I'm happy you brought that up. It's like you can read my mind. It's like you can read my mind before I even ask you the question. Like, what's going on here? Like,
Well,
why?
that's my background. I'm BS psychology. I'm
Yeah,
psychology.
it's like you're my other half. So it's like I met my match. Wow. Okay. Whew, okay. But I just want to say real quick about the bachata stuff. Like, they say a lot of the bachata is a way it saves people. And I didn't really understand what it meant until well, okay, this is the deal. I mean, I bachata is not something that I always dreamed of doing or listening to or whatever. I'm the typical. I mean, hate to say the typical American, even though my family's from the West Indies, and I was born and raised in New Jersey, and then I traveled the world, but I didn't really have an appreciation for the Latin community or music. I'm like, I was like very ignorant. I was like, oh God, if I don't understand the language or the words, why listen to something that I don't understand, right? I was dating someone a few years ago, right, and happened to be a Dominican person, and and um, and I said to myself, I'm getting older, I'm entering my 40s and stuff. I need to settle down and just let it be. And then so I was with this person, and I forced it to work. Like I forced. It's not good to force stuff to happen. Like I wanted, I wanted stuff. I mean, I wanted love to happen every day. I had high expectations, and they did, and blah blah blah. So I guess when I ended up with a broken heart, I also ended up with a lot of resentment and bitterness, and I didn't really, I didn't want to listen to any Latin music or see any Latin person or whatever. I just, it's like I just thought everyone was bad that was in the Latin community, especially Dominicans. And I said, God, that cannot be true. Wait, I don't like feeling this way. I don't like being bitter and being sour. I'm a nice guy. So I said, let me turn this pain around into something good. Right, Bernie? So I decided I was so hurt, so hurt that I said, let me just listen to a song, a bachata song. I don't know if it was Aventura or someone. I was just listening to it for the first like hour, and then I said, I don't understand anything, but for some odd reason, I do understand it. I understand it, but I don't understand it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
For
yeah.
some reason, like it felt like this guy, whoever was singing the song, whoever written the lyrics, he can understand what I felt. He knows what I'm feeling. He knows that, you know, I got a broken heart and I'm done with the world. I'm done with, I'm just sick and tired of everything. I'm just, and then I listened to the words and I interpreted and I realized that I'm not alone. Other people feel
Right.
this way and they survived and I could. One Dominican song led to the next and to the next. And then I started hitting the dance club and I began listening to bachata music. And then I began to travel into the world, DC, Texas, Miami, began taking lessons. And I decided to open up Cool Folks Who Love to Bachata. There's a reason I did that. There's one of many reasons I opened it because I learned now, and I don't think I could ever turn back now. I learned to have so much respect for bachata and Dominicans and just the Latin community in general. I learned because I had a broken heart, you know,
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
So, and I just want to say that it saved me personally. I was thinking about, yeah, you know what it's like, Bernie. Sometimes you feel like you're over the hill and no one's going to be with you, and if this
Right.
relationship doesn't work, then yeah, people are going to talk about you. Your family's going to be like, "What's your problem?" And so, I was thinking about all these weird stuff in my head, just like, weird stuff, like just like jump in front of a car, jump off a bridge, and all of this like weird stuff. So it saved me. It saved me, and it helped me
Wow. It's
understand more.
amazing.
Yeah, help me understand more about me and other people and how to, So I guess what I'm trying to say, so when you guys see me traveling the world and I'm dancing with, all these women and stuff, there's a reason because I'm trying to prove to myself that, hey, there is good on this earth. There are good people out there. I can learn from this, and and so there's always a story behind a guy, Bernie, when you see him on the dance floor. So that's all I'm gonna say. There's always a story. At least that's my story. The bachata saved me. In
Wow.
a lot of ways. In a lot of ways, it saved me. That's all I want to say.
Amazing.
That's all
Amazing.
I want to say. I know, the interview is on you and not me. So one of these days, you're gonna have to
I
interview
will
me.
interview you.
Roswell, let's sit on the couch. What really happened back in the days before you listened to Apple? We'll be here for 8 hours. So that's going to be like the interview of the lifetime.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
but for now, I just want to say, I relate to you with regards to love and passion and, you know, and appreciation and for the music and stuff and, all of that good stuff. Okay. I wanted to ask you something about uh, the Eagle Brook Country Club. Is that right?
I
Eagle
know.
Brook Country.
When I saw that working at Eagle, no, the club at Eagle. I'm a member of the club at Eagle Brook. I'm not working there. Yeah, it's a golf course. Do some
Okay.
ladies golf
Yeah.
clinics. I do pickleball. I'm a swimmer too. That is where I used to compete. Swimming. In college, I was with a team. I used to compete for swimming. I swim every day. That's part of my exercise, part of my cross training. So I like the setup there, and leading to that, when I moved here, because originally I was from Maryland, I just moved here recently,
Mm.
and the club at Eagle Brook didn't have any dance event, and there's got to be some dance here, not all this pickleball and I mean it's great tennis, pickleball, like swimming, golfing, but they didn't have that, and I was inspired to talk to the general manager, and that's how this year I organized and coordinated this class that we have there every last Wednesday of the month,
Mhm.
in the club ballroom. So they open it up. So their members, they open it up to non-members,
Mhm.
because we teach salsa, and salsa there. As I said, I did a reel, and I said salsa doesn't know. It doesn't matter what age you are. You know, it brings people together, and I see from the past months we've got college students to like those who are working to the retired people. Because it's in a country club, it's like mostly here in Florida are retirees. But then I see the college students now they're on break, so they told me they'll come back in the fall. Oh, okay, now I'm kind of learning, but I love the fact that we're bringing them together. And then
Yeah.
I wasn't, because that was just once a month, and I was like, what, really? I mean, like just once a month, I'm gonna dance. So I approached the city of Lakeland and wanted to introduce to like tell them the my passion for bringing the Latin. I didn't know anything, but I wanted to bring the Latin dance community a chance, opportunity to go to classes, events, and so we also hold that in the city of Lakeland. They're so nice to even provide that because that's expensive to pay all those facilities, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, because I told them like there's nothing here that I can really I think that they also share the vision that you bring all these together, and eventually I know it's gonna also have other people. Right now it's kind of like I have some acquaintances who are also organizing, and that's what I call support. Like I support them in their events, in their classes, um, and it's mutual arrangement. Like we support both of them because I don't want to split the. Lakeland's a small town. I don't want to split the population. Like we're here together. We all love to dance. Go to this event, to this event, to this event, even though it's not my event. So then my event is really during the first Saturday of the month, and that's the Latin night where I was telling you about DJ
Yes.
Rowe. He is a DJ there, and he's also the instructors of all the classes that I'm coordinating. So yeah, so I think it's a very small town. It's a city. Lakeland's a city, but not as much dancing as in Tampa or Orlando. We're like sandwiched in between. So I'm like, okay, and I'm 1 hour to Tampa, 1 hour to Orlando, 1 hour to Tamarind, Clearwater. So we even the promoters I'm the type of person I like to promote everybody. So St. Pete, Tampa, Orlando, whatever events they have, if I'm happy, if I go, oh, I promote them. Sometimes people ask, that's your event? No, it's somebody's event. Places. So I think that's how I have like derived from my foundation, like with Attack on Alemana, we touch the world.
Well, that's good that you're helping everyone out. That's you're helping yourself and you're helping the world. That's great. I like that. I like to hear that in you guys. When you guys go on air and you guys tell me that you guys are not just in it for the business for yourselves, but you're also helping your colleagues and showing support. It makes me want to go hop on a plane wherever you guys are and give you a big hug and say, "I am proud of you." You know. That leads me to my next topic here. I want to discuss support. I know you mentioned it at least four times within the last hour we talked, and this is a good time to bring it up. Okay, it's a Saturday night, Bernie, right? A big Saturday night, a major city in this on this planet. I don't know. You name the city: Miami, Dallas, Japan, Paris, Los Angeles, New York. I don't know. It's a major city on a Saturday night. Five five of the world's greatest organizers decide to have their events on that same night,
Oh
and
boy.
all five of them are back to back. They all live within like 5, 10, under 2 miles, maybe a mile
Yeah.
less than one another. You can walk over to their house, right?
Hmm.
And they're all friends, whatever. They got family to feed, mortgages to pay, blah blah blah. People like you and I and the rest of the world, we get invitations from all five, right? It's a good story, Bernie. You got to the story gets better, and and we love all five of them, right? We love them, right?
Yeah.
We love John, we love Miguel, we love Carmen, we love Shakila, we love Susan. We love them, right? We respect them. Well, we got to choose which which ones we're gonna go to. Go here, how do you go? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, or what? What? Okay. That's the problem here. So I'm going to ask you a Roswell question here about support. So if you and I, or we have to make a decision like who to go support or whatever, and let's say we go here, right? Or I go here, and then the next day I run into my buddy here, and he's like, "Oh, Roswell, thank you for coming." But then this guy runs into me and say, "Roswell, where the heck were?" Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it
I
goes like
know what
that.
you're saying.
So, just to save aggravation and for me, not to choose, how can these guys, or I mean, could they have a better way have done something else? Could they have united? Could they have like split the profit? Could they have? I don't know. I'm not an organizer, as everyone knows. I'm not a dancer. I just travel and I see stuff, and you know. So I don't know, Bernie. I mean, you've been
I,
Maryland, and I mean you're more experience than I have. You've known people more than I have. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's the way it is. It always has been like that, or maybe because it's COVID. COVID is over, and now people, oh, help my friends. I got it. So how can we have
yeah.
this? Or I don't know.
I could only speak for the Maryland, D.C., Virginia area, because when I entered into that dance community, they already had a salsa room, which is the biggest event there. And then there's sprung like little events here and there. Um, so I wouldn't say, I think it's more of like people still would hold an event on a Saturday, um, and knowing that there's an event going on. Sometimes it's unavoidable, but I think like if it's at all possible, like the organizers or coordinators who know that there's an event, like me, if I'm coordinating an event, I don't want to hold it if it's possible. I don't want to hold it when somebody's also doing a class at that day, or if there's an event, like because if especially here in Lakeland, we're just like a few of us. So that would be my thing. And DMV, remember, that's a big area. So there's Virginia, there's Maryland, there's DC. So what I used to do before, I'll go to the salsa room, is like my home base. So I'll go to the salsa room, and then I'm gonna go spend 2 hours there. Then I go to where my friend is, or something like that. I
Mhm.
mean, it's possible. But here, I don't know how I'm even gonna do that. Like if I go to Tampa, Orlando, St. Pete, I mean, they're all far away. So I
Right.
have to determine, how to do that. But for organizers, there's what you call a healthy competition, where you are encouraged to do better, do events better, quality events, and stuff like that. But there's also the negative kind of competition, where you're trying to, like, split the community. See, that I would try to avoid that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
me.
And I think the reason I struggle with that, struggle with this question is because being that, I have a platform for all of you guys, and, a lot of people sometimes, Russell, if you're in town, you got to show up, right? And then what if I don't show up to their event? And then, it's like, oh, Russell, I mean, aren't you, bro? I'm your bro. I'm your bro. How could you do this to me? How could, and then
Yeah,
the
I
media
know.
will be like, oh, I'm not going to post on Russell's page anymore because he didn't show up. Well, did you know that Russell has auto obligations and his mom is dying? And then, anyway, but the point is that um, there's ways to go around this. That all five of these people, our friends, right,
Yeah,
could have all had worked this out without you and I and whatever choosing what to do and going crazy. Like jump here for
yeah,
5 minutes, go in Uber for 10 minutes to go to this event, then half an hour down south to hang out at this event. Then before you know it, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. I didn't dance with any woman. All I did is just travel, go here and blah blah blah. So I asked that question to you guys not only to help the dance community, but they want to help me. It's kind of like figure out like how to be a little bit more open hearted rather than loosen my heart.
yeah. I think there's some things you can't avoid. There's some things you can't avoid, because I experience the same thing now. Like, oh, there's an event in Tampa, there's an event here, oh, you're not coming. But I mean, understandably, because I live an hour away from each other, unlike in the DMV, I'm able to. kind of adjust my timing because it's like 15 minutes here, it's
Yeah.
not a waste of time. So I think it depends on the situation, but I would encourage, like, you know,
Mm.
like, not to split the community if at all possible, you know.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That is
That's what I
something.
think of.
Yeah. I was. So yeah. That I will support you on.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
why
yeah.
you
This is not
support
only
me.
about, but I understand, but I understand it's about the business, right? But you can't be all about the business because eventually it's gonna, like, kind of separate people. And then, this is a dance community. We need to be all happy. We're like a dance. That's why in Maryland, DMV, we call it a dance family. Oh, we're all in a dance family. We're we're not trying to, like, put you down or something. No, like, I remember in DMV, like, if I can't attend, sorry, I love you, but I can't split my body. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I wish I could because
Right.
I have so much energy to dance. I can dance till morning. But there's some situations you just can't avoid.
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay, all right, that works for me. Okay, let me ask you something else then. No, it works for me because every day I'm like, oh God. So you know what? So you know what I'm doing, Bernie? I know what I'm now. I'm just not telling people where I'm going. I don't know if you remember, like maybe a year ago, I used to put like Roswell is in D.C., Roswell is in Japan,
And then they know
Roswell
you're,
is in Ohio. So I don't do that anymore. I just magically, boom, hello, what's up?
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
That's in your, yeah, for your taste. Yeah.
and some people are like, Roger, why did you not tell me ahead of time you were going to come? I'm like, because I don't want to get aggravation. So, I don't want to get yelled at
I
by your friends.
I understand. Yeah, no, that's kind of a pressure.
Okay. When I was a kid, Bernie, I and I'm still a kid.
Me
Don't think
too.
I look like a man. I'm not a man. It's all no, it's all camera. I'm still a boy at heart. But Um, I didn't really do much, I didn't really go out. I didn't like, really approach people.
Mhm.
Super shy, and still am. A lot of people still think that I'm full of it because you got this cool photo of the bachata, you dance with every woman, whether she's married or not, then you post it live. I'm dancing, and we don't know her name. Russell, you are. But I am really, really shy when people really get to know me. I would actually stand on a dance floor, literally look at people like I'm the security guard, like for half an hour, and it comes to a point where women come up to me, not to ask me to dance, but do you know where the restroom is, sir? It's that bad. I trust. We have to hang out one day, Bernie. You'll see how bad it is. I just stand there like a dork,
Yeah, no, you
like
need.
like.
Oh wait, I forgot. I forgot. Like, you need to come to Lakeland at Leo's Live. That's where we hold. It's known here in Lakeland. Leo's Live. The owner is a very good guy. Leo Goncalves is the owner of Leo's Live.
uh,
Yeah, and the way I got
okay,
introduced to
okay.
him is because one of the students in the class, John, his name
Mhm.
is John Tolley. He's the one who introduced me to Leo's Live. So we got a good place to really
Hmm.
salsa and bachata and merengue.
Wonderful. I definitely have to check it out when I come back down south. I'm here until um at least until after the summer. Then I plan to come back down south. That is something that I should put on my plan. But
Better
let
not
me,
put it on social media that you're in this area because everybody will call.
yeah, let me
I'm
know. I'm going to be
kidding.
in more trouble
I'm
than I am
kidding.
now. And by the way, when I go down south, no one's gonna know but Bernie. Okay.
Okay.
Only Bernie's gonna know. She's
It's
gonna
a
be the first one
secret.
that's gonna know, but the rest of you guys, no. But children. When I was a kid, I was super shy and stuff. I didn't, my parents were like, Roswell, you know, um, don't even think about arts, dancing, music,
Oh,
acting. That's only for rich people, right? You're gonna go be a profession, lawyer, doctor. It is what it is. So I had to go get my undergraduate bachelor's in psychology. I had to get my master's in sociology. I did the PhD stuff. I'm done with the program. I'm just doing my dissertation, which is taking me forever because I'm
of
lazy.
course.
So the
That's
bottom
tough.
line is that I still had a passion for dancing and arts and TV and stuff, and but I never really acted on that passion because my mind was like my parents, peer pressure, all that stuff
Yeah.
went into my head. Um, but I'm doing what I'm doing. 102 years later, I'm doing, I'm, dancing
Yeah.
and, media and stuff. I'm doing it. You, Bernie, when you were a child, okay, um, was this your path? I mean, I know you mentioned this last hour and a half we were talking, modeling and, flight attendant, all that stuff. The path that you had when you were a child, did you know you were going to be here at this stage in your life? Or is this something that by chance or, you know, something just bing bang boom and be like, no, I think I'm going to go this direction because it's for me. Like, how did you always know you were going to be where you are at your stage in your career?
I think so. See, there are two aspects. One is, like I said, it's your the business part where you earn the money, and the second is your interest, your hobbies. So I
Mhm.
think it's both related.
Okay.
I always knew that I would be in the dance community because
Mhm.
not so much. Well, I started modeling at 4 years old, 4 or 5 years old in TV. Oh my God, that's
Oh,
embarrassing.
wow.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. I can't remember what I was doing, but then they showed me the videos when they took it. Like, that's me.
Wow.
Like, I can't even.
Wow.
And I didn't. I wasn't too. I mean, modeling's good, but it's more of the money.
Mhm.
Um, that I was more on the business side, and it kind of sucked the happiness out of me because it's too much pressure, And
Mhm.
then going to LA, when we have to do shows in LA, that was just, oh my God, like, it's unnerving.
Yeah.
So I didn't like that part. But dancing, I've always
Mhm.
known because my dad was a dancer until
Oh,
he passed. That's what he wanted to do after he was in his 80s. That's all he wanted to do is dance, with his alumni, and they would go to dance events. So I think I'm the same way, like, go to all these dance events. So,
mhm.
but my mom wasn't really a dancer; she was a
Mhm.
singer.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, so it's good. Like, I mean, she'd go to the dance events, but it's more of like she'd be interested. That's how I heard Romeo Santos, because whose voice is this? It's like, Romeo has this kind of voice that, oh
Mhm.
my God, like,
Right,
it's
right,
like
right.
it's like falsetto. No, because my brothers are singers too, so they
Mhm.
they call that falsetto. He's got a falsetto voice, like
Oh, okay.
high, that high pitched voice. And like, wow, that's amazing. So yeah, no, I always knew I was gonna be in this. I think my parents navigated me to the dance path. I mean, there were other paths, but as a child, you don't know what you want. So,
Mhm.
you just try and see where it's gonna lead you,
Well,
Uh,
I always thought like I think with me, I mean, I think with me it's just that my parents. I mean, my parents were not. Oh my God, they were just like like construction workers, clerks, not not just trying to just trying to put like a dollar or two in a bank to get foods for me and my family, my brother, my sister. They didn't even think about like anything, just beyond like it was like, oh, it's Roswell, not get that stuff out of your mind. Arts, TV, acting, no, you good. You like it or
that's
not, you
right.
go this, blah blah
Yeah,
blah.
yeah, yeah.
And the bad thing about that is just that I didn't really have a meaning for what I was doing, like school. I just know I just have to go to school. My parents are going to kill me, or whatever. So it was only late in life, like a late bloomer, late in life, like, oh, this is what I want to do, and this is what. So that's why I always ask that question to you guys because I mean I have high admiration for all 2,800 of you guys. You guys are on my Bachata webpage. It always fascinates me how you guys became who you are. Was it by choice? Was it by you know the force of God or by whatever? So it always fascinates me because I always find it interesting and I respect each and every response such as yours that you give. So that's great. So the reason I ask that also is that children are looking at this, Bernie, and maybe one day they might want to follow in your footstep or another famous professional, maybe be a dancer, musician, or whatever. Now, what advice could you give to them if they say, they're going to become the next Bernie, or the next, the next, are they going to say, I'm going to become like Bernie, a supermodel?
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
What are you going to, like, no, what are you going to tell them? Like, the little girl come up to you and say, I want to look beautiful just like you. I'm going to, I want to
Oh,
do. Are you gonna be like, yeah, you go for it, girl. You go, but if you need an agent, you better hook me up. What are you gonna tell her, Bernie? Or him?
as a child, I don't know what to say, but I could only base it from me as a child because their parents navigate them, they show interest in that.
Hmm.
and and I remember in ballet, and this is the advice that I would give. It's general, but it goes for all dances. In ballet, I was just scared to stumble. Like you're the tiptoeing and all that. I was so scared, and I just didn't want to go back because it's embarrassing if everybody's doing all that moves and tiptoeing and all that and turning. Oh my God. I told my dad, I don't want to go back. And then my mom said, why not? I don't want to stumble. So this is going to be my advice to the children. Like, usually I know this parents start their little girls with this ballet thing. I don't know if you're familiar, but that's kind of like the mentality that I see. Like, but it's true because ballet is a very, very good foundation
Hmm.
for all these, like turning, your spotting, everything. To me, I think a good foundation would be ballet. And I would tell them, if you stumble, okay, or if you stumble or you fall, just make it part of the dance and just continue dancing. That's what I'm going to tell them. Because it was so nerve wracking to me because that was my inside fear. Like, oh my God, I'm going to stumble. As a kid, I'm saying, like, it's so embarrassing. And that's all I can say because that's based on my experience. I can't, kids, they have this very fertile minds and very young still. So I think the best is to try to thresh out that fear or whatever the fear is. And usually for me, it's a stumbling or making that mistake. So that's what I'm gonna advise them to continue being a great dancer. To continue in their journey of being a dancer if they want to be a dancer, because that's very inspiring and encouraging to me.
Why did you not tell me this like 70 something years ago? No, I'm just kidding. Why do you not tell? You could have saved me a lot of waste of tuition money and college and stuff. I could have been like, I could tell my parents. Well, Bernie said that. I needed you back then. Where were you, Bernie?
I
Anyway,
was dance. I was dancing.
no, I did try modeling. I'll be truthful with you. I tried modeling a long time ago because everyone was like the stereotype back in the '80s was like if you're tall and you're slim, just be a model. I tried it out, and uh, I forgot the name of the school. I don't know if it's Barbizon or whatever. This was many many years ago, and they
Oh.
told me, they didn't do the book stuff. When you have to put the book in your head and stuff. I was, but not that. We're talking about like, you're like Roswell. Just get up, walk. Go like this, here like this, smile. Turn your eyes like this. So it didn't. And I said, I'm afraid people might laugh at me, and even they might come up to me and really touch me. And I'm like, I don't think I could. And I literally cried. I pretended that I was sick. um like 2 weeks later, I lied to my dad, and I'm like, I got a stomach ache, I don't think I can do it. I didn't really tell him that I'm really like a coward, to like go to modeling school and to continue what I'm doing. And then I my parents realized that that I can't be sick like 6 weeks in a row with the same stomach problem. Something's going on, and I can't do it. But so yeah, I didn't have the guts like you. Like I didn't have the guts or the courage to do it. So
That advice that I get, because that, like me remembering that if I stumble, it's part of it. See, as a kid, they believe you, right? So That's what I'm going to tell a kid. So they believe that it's part of that. So they don't really care, right? They'll continue. It brought it it brought me a long way to modeling, because during those days it was like high heels, like 4 inches, 4 inch stilettos, with in a ramp. It's like you have to, and that was unnerving, because I felt like, oh my God, what if I fall here? It got into my head again, like when I was dancing in ballet. So then I remember that, like, no, it's part of it. If I fall, it's part it's part of the choreography. It's
Right,
part-
right, right.
Except that I'll be yelled at by the choreographer. Like, what are you
Um,
doing?
oh, you have a strong spirit. You're like, I would be like, I would be like,
Well,
yeah, I was
you're
like,
gonna cry.
yeah, yeah, and I did. I literally did. I literally did, But
So funny.
you managed to do it, so I respect you. I respect anyone who can make it that far and get through it, because there's a lot of competition, not only competition, there's a lot of criticism and, like if you're not a
Yep.
certain height, a certain look, or, certain accent or whatever, then a lot of people, the young ones, not people
Hmm.
like you and I, but the young ones, they take it in a different direction. Because remember, people that are younger than you and I, way younger, little kid, they take negative stuff and it can really hurt them psychologically, and they can
Yep.
maybe you know damage them for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
I just want to make this clear to everyone. If you guys are planning to pursue the media, whatever, dancing, acting, if you want to be the next cool woman or cool man who left the bachata, that's fine. But try not to take things personal, because it's part of the business and it is what it is. And if anyone, messes with you or tell you you're not too good looking or whatever, you tell them, come see me, Roswell. And I'll tell them,
Come see me.
yeah, come see Bernie and Roswell. We'll tell them who's the boss. Okay, so
Yeah.
listen to your little ones. Don't let you know those weird advantage of you. Just do what you think is right. Follow your heart. Follow your dream. Be truthful to yourself. Don't pretend to be
Yep.
anything you're not, because it's trust me, it leads nowhere. Just be
Yep.
yourself and just and that's that. So that's all I'm
Yep.
going to say, Bernie, about that. Um, Bernie, there are some events. This is so funny. Every time I invite you guys to come live with me to talk about your event, that we talk about everything except that. So after an hour and a half. So Bernie, the real reason you're here, okay, not really to help me out with my psycho problems here. No, the real reason you're here, okay. What event is coming up? I know you mentioned a couple of them at the beginning of this interview. Please share some events you would like to Dance World to know about and why.
Well, I mean, regarding my event, well,
Yeah.
I mean, well, I just have one event which happens every first Saturday of the month.
Okay.
We just started,
Mm.
um, and I'm happy to say that I'm so pleased that I have DJ Bro, because he's a very supportive, talented DJ.
Mm.
And not only that, but he has the same values as I, in supporting the dance community. I have, so we, it's smaller. I mean, it's a small place, but what my vision is to really bring salsa, bachata, merengue, the dance, you know, together, like the dancing of those people together. It's a Latin culture, but we're open to everybody. It doesn't mean if you're not Latin or no. It's dancing is a universal language.
Right.
So we here it's just bring the culture, and socially and culturally, which helps everybody. I think that's like we started. I mean, that's enough for the event for me right now, in coordinating that. That's a lot of work. you know
Yeah, it's a lot.
and yeah, but I appreciate the other people, my Facebook friends, and like especially my queen T, Tamara.
Right,
Tamara, are
right.
you watching? um
Yeah,
and she helps me promote that event, and as well as I'm very supportive for events, and that's what I call support. I just love it, because
yeah.
I enjoy her events. I was in her event last Saturday. I just had a blast. So yeah, I think it's more of just a Latin night, and I put there, I'm about passion, so it's just not a Latin night, but it's feel the rhythm. You gotta feel the rhythm because it's really about dance.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I like
felt it
that.
already. I felt that, and I felt more than I ever felt
Okay.
before. Like in 17, woo, 50
Yeah.
years.
So yeah,
Anyway.
it's just like a small family, happy family. We don't have to be, you know, wherever, it's relative. It's a relative term to say, oh, it's a no. As long as you're happy in that event, we bring
Mhm.
people, unite people together, no matter what race, what culture, whatever. If you love to dance, you have the passion for dancing. Come to Latin Night, feel the rhythm in Lakeland, Florida.
The Afterlife, I gotta put that on my list. I never, when I was in Atlanta these last since November,
Yeah.
I didn't really do. I basically stayed in Georgia. I mean, I didn't. I was only like the weekend before I came back up to New York. I decided to like really go out. Like I went to Nashville for the first time, and then Florida would just be like Orlando because there's a lot of like
Oh,
not,
very
not just like just marketing, going there, marketing cool folks and
yes,
stuff. I really didn't really do anything else, and I feel cheated because I could have, I could have gone to come say hello to you, but now I know you. I mean, now I know
yeah,
you, virtually and everything. So now that's on my go-to list. When I come back down south, come Saturday, and come to Lakeland, and be
and
like,
bring some
hey,
cool folks.
yeah.
Roswell, did you hear me? Bring some cool folks
In addition to
who
myself,
dance love bachata.
in
What
addition,
did you say?
in addition to myself, cooler folks. I mean, cooler. Oh,
No,
I just thought
I
about
know you're
something.
enough, but I promote. So,
Cooler folk. Hey, that's my new webpage. Cooler folks who love the bachata.
oh,
Cooler than Roswell. No, I'm just kidding. Who loves the bachata? No, but cool folks who love the bachata. You guys are cool, and I think I said this like maybe my first interview. I think I forgot who it was, but the reason I mentioned it, cool, Bernie, is just that cool is not only about beauty. It's about smartness. It's about charm. It's about loyalty. Loyalty is to something. If anyone
yep,
knows me, I'm I'm big on loyalty.
me
It's
too.
about like kindness, being humble,
Yep,
being supportive, being
yep,
caring, and that's what makes you guys cool. I'm very selective of the 2,800 people that I choose. Even though I have
yeah,
not met all of you guys yet, but I will one by one, God willingly. You guys are cool for those reasons. You know, and
yeah,
so cool folks love the bachata. You guys are one big happy family, and and that's my plan. Now that COVID stuff is behind us, I want all of us to unite as one big happy family, continue supporting one another, and let that love grow and expand. That's
yes,
my ultimate goal for cool folks who love to bachata.
yes. I love it. I love it.
I know we were like way over our interview. Normally, it's my interviews are like up to an hour. You and I went to an hour and a half because I don't know. I feel like I feel like your family or your I don't know. It just feels good. You and I are connected. I mean, I can't believe on social media. Like, where's my life going to, God? I'm connected with Bernie, but okay. Well, but I no, I felt good talking to you, and this is another reason I wanted to bring you guys on because I want you guys to get to know me and I get to know you guys. Let it be more than just like, oh, it's an event by Bernie and put like and love, and it's no. So
Well,
no. So now, we have the opportunity to better know one another. More people know about you, and they're going to come to your event. And all of you guys, please come out. Saturday, give Bernie your love. Support and everything
give me
else.
some-
Yes, and all of that. Okay, okay. But anyway, it was a great honor and a great pleasure and a great, 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 great blessing to be live with you. And I know, it took a lot of work for you to meet with me now, and I changed our interview stuff the last minute. I'm like, oh no, can we do it like today instead of what? You're like, what, Roswell, did you say? And you call me, and you're a very good person, and keep being good,
Thank
because
you.
when you're a good person, there's no competition.
Yes, 100. What's
There's,
that emoji? 100.
yeah, there's no
100.
competition.
In sign language,
You-
it's 100.
yeah.
100.
And I love the way you look. Keep on looking the way you look. So that's great. And that's it. I can't
And
think of
I
anything
just have
else.
some few last statements for
Oh,
everybody.
Royal Philip. I'm sorry. Wait, sorry. Oh, tell us a little
Ryan,
bit about your friend, Mr. Roy. What's it?
he's the
Rowan.
Row, DJ Row.
Okay, tell us a little bit about it. I'm so sorry. He just joined a couple days ago. So please, again, I know. Just tell us a little bit more about Hank. I'm planning to interview him very soon.
Yeah,
What's the greatest thing about him that we should know? Like,
he's
like
the
one of the.
best DJ. No, first Row, he shares our passion for
Hmm.
dancing.
Hmm.
You know, he is a DJ. He teaches in Gulfport Casino. That's where I met
Hmm.
him when I was living in St. Pete last year. So he
Okay.
teaches there, very nice, good class, and very great instructor, very great DJ.
Hmm.
And one thing I can say about him is like what we all talked about. He's very supportive. He likes the idea of bringing people together, not separating them, like just being one big happy family, in the dance community. Not this weird competition out there, or no, we share that thing, and we just want to be happy, enjoy the dance community, bring people together. That's DJ Rowe, and of course, his music rocks. So, you know, so I can't stop dancing. If I'm already high energy, I dance straight. And like with bro, okay, you'll I'll be on the dance floor all night.
Wow. Maybe I should have him like. Maybe I should go have him go live when he's performing. Everyone, free admission.
Yeah.
No. So you give me a good idea. Let me check with
Now I
Facebook to
gave you
see
an
if they'll
idea.
let me do that. To be like, well, Roswell, you didn't get our permission. Look, I don't need your permission. No, I'm just kidding. To the Facebook manager, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Bernie, it was good talking to you. You have a wonderful, wonderful night, and I'll touch base with you after, when I come down south after the
Yeah.
summer. If you do come to New York, I'm here at least for the summer. You have to come visit, if you are here, or even if I'm not here and you come, let me know. I can give you some places to go, contacts and all that good stuff, that
So
you.
three things I want to say.
Oh.
I want to say to the cool folks who love to dance bachata. Dance to express yourself, not to impress. That's
Mhm.
bachata. And as a flight attendant, I know that dancers, we don't need wings to fly. And the best thing about bachata is, for me, it's a shortcut to my happiness. So may it be for all
Aw.
of you. And now let me sign my name. I am Bernie Bachatera. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Roswell. Oh, well, I gave you a sign name, Roswell. I don't know. I just used that because I saw you in the hat. Roswell, this is R. Roswell, but I can't spell Roswell. I can. So I give you a sign name, which is Roswell, because I saw you with the hat earlier. Thank you, Roswell.
Wait, can I marry you right now? You see what
This
this
is
like?
this is I love.
Oh, you're so sweet. Oh my God. Thank you so
I
much. You're
love
such
you
a
all,
sweetie.
cool folks who love to dance bachata.
Brandy, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, and thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening, everyone.
Okay, bye bye. Take care.
Bye.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
summer.
Yes. Bye.
Bye bye.